Trudeau once again gaslighting Canadians on what his actual words were. We've all seen this clip before. This is him gaslighting everyone previously about, well, vaccination and his role in coercing people into getting the vaccine.
Vaccination was going to be the way through this. And therefore, while not forcing anyone to get vaccinated, I chose to make sure that all the incentives and all the protections were there to encourage Canadians to get vaccinated. And that's
That's what he did. Yeah, instead of coercing people, he just made sure there was incentives that made it so you wouldn't want to not get it. Yeah, okay, that's gaslighting, absolute gaslighting. And today we see him gaslighting once again, telling people that he never labeled anybody who was, concerned about parental rights as being hateful and intolerant. He never would have said anything like that.
The Muslim Association of Canada and other groups have recently condemned your characterization of people, including Muslim families, who recently protested for what they call parental rights. You used the word hate to describe their concerns, and you've been asked to retract that comment and apologize. Will you do that, and should you have been more careful in the way you discuss this issue?
I will always stand up for everyone's rights in this country.
Everyone. Okay, well, let's just have a look at what his words were, actually. Let me make one thing very clear. Transphobia, homophobia, and biphobia have no place in this country. We strongly condemn this hate and its manifestation, and we stand united in support of 2S LGBTQI plus Canadians across the country. You are valid and you are valued. Now, the community on X had things to say about this. Justin confuses homophobia with disagreement. People have a disagreement here. To oppose the teachings of sexual orientation, for example, does not equate to a dislike or hate of such people. That's correct. The protest, which Trudeau is condemning, is against gender ideology, which is both misogynistic and homophobic. He is supporting hatred, not condemning it. There is nothing clear about Justin Trudeau's statement. Justin Trudeau is inconspicuously labeling all of the protesters in the 1 million march for children as homophobic and transphobic in an attempt to silence their concerns about teaching gender theory to their children. Now, of course, the Muslim Association of Canada was quite upset with his words, and duly so. And they had a statement calling for him to retract what he had said and that it was deeply offensive for them. Now, when asked about it, does he sound apologetic? I don't think so. And again, gaslighting to the max here.
Stand up for Muslim communities, stand up for 2S LGBTQI plus communities, stand up for marginalized people across this country, and protect them from intolerance and, yes, from hatred when it is there.
And it was there. It was there, Mr. Prime Minister, coming from your Twitter account, telling Muslim Canadians and people who are concerned parents in this country that what their views were homophobic and transphobic and biphobic, all of these things. Now, I was at that march, and there were gay people on the parental side of things. There were many, the group Gays Against Groomers was there. Many people who weren't associated with any groups, but identified as gay individuals, trans individuals, bi individuals, all the people you're labeling that they're apparently phobic of. These people were members of that side of the protest, of this march. But again, you've labeled them as such.
I am going to continue to work to bring people together and to make sure our kids are protected while standing up for everyone's rights. This is something that is core to Canada, that we defend each other's rights, that we support each other.
Yeah, and you're on the wrong side of this one entirely, Justin Trudeau. You're absolutely on the wrong side of this one.
And I've never suggested that someone who's concerned about parental rights is somehow filled with hate or intolerance.
Right here. Let me be very clear. Transphobia, homophobia, and biphobia have no place in this country. We condemn this hate, and its manifestations, and we stand united in support of the alphabet Canadians across the country. You are valid and you are valued. You definitely said that this was hate, and you condemned it.
But what we need to make sure is that when we do see expressions of hatred or intolerance against Muslims, against the 2S LGBTQI+ community, against any Canadians, that we are firm in standing against intolerance, and that we reach out to bring people together. That's what I will always do. That's what this government has always done with Muslim Canadians and with all members of diverse communities.
Obviously, he's being caught out in the fact that he's been absolutely divisive as a prime minister his entire time in office, and this is the whole point of wokeism. It's divisive language to divide people up, and then the old tactic of divide and conquer in a political sense, by separating the groups and then controlling each group individually. Now, it's come to a head where one group, not all of the LGBT plus people, but a particular small set of LGBT plus people want to insert themselves into children's lives in Canada. And yes, of course, people of religious groups are upset with this because it's infringing on their religious freedom. And well, anyone's just freedom of association. People don't want their children to be taught these things, and it's not bigotry to say you be you and that's fine, but just don't indoctrinate my children. And this is what this was all about, and Trudeau caught out mischaracterizing these people and their views.
Quick follow-up, so you're not retracting the comment in question?
It was a tweet talking about how we stand with the 2S LGBTQI+ community, and we always will. We will always stand against hatred and intolerance wherever and from whoever it comes. But anyone who's trying to politicize or spin this as an attack on one particular group is trying to divide communities against each other. We are a government and a party that will always stand against intolerance wherever it is.
Divide people. It's in fact the Muslim community that actually came out and brought all these people together. This was actually largely because of the Muslim community coming out and protesting last June about these issues. And well, because they did, and because they came out in droves and did this, it actually brought so many people together. So to say that the Muslim community is dividing people is absolutely false in this assessment of the situation. They've largely been a uniting factor in Canada over this summer and into these protests that have taken place in September and now coming up in October. This month, October 21st, 2023. We are marching again, it says Hands Off Our Kids. You can check it out at handsoffOurkids.ca. This is the march is happening again, and it's largely because there was such a big turnout. Now, there was a lot of people that were concerned. They didn't want to come out to this protest because of the reports from the news saying that there's going to be massive counter protests and there's going to be violence and there's going to be all of this stuff. Now, it didn't pan out to be exactly that. There was a large counter protest presence there, especially in Vancouver. We saw in Victoria it was quite large. But what it did was all these parents, they took the day off work, took their kids out of school to go to this protest on September 20th. Now on October 21st, this is going to be on a Saturday, so this is going to be put a lot more people in the eligibility of being able to take the time to go to this. So it's looking like it might be even bigger than the one in September, and kind of excited to see how this turns out, because this isn't a celebration of any sort of bigotry. This In fact, quite the opposite. And it seems like the only intolerance is coming from the side of Trudeau. Now, Trudeau, not very popular these days. You can't really go much of anywhere without getting heckled or accosted in the streets. This is a recent video of a guy who happened to get close to Trudeau and just told him off straight to his face. Now, again, kids, earmuffs, a bit of language in this, but this is what Trudeau gets to deal with on a daily basis anyway.
Criminal! Thank you for everything you did. Look at this friggin' buck tea, bro. Look at this buck tea.
Hi. Pleasure to see you as well. Hey there, how you doing?
I'm not shaking your hand, bro. You're a fucking piece of shit, man.
Why is that, sir?
You fucked up the entire country. You got our buddy over there.
Yeah, but how did I mess up this country?
Can anybody afford a home in this day? You're charging people carbon tax. You got 9 V8s here idling for 30 minutes. Your carbon footprint is increasing. We're getting charged for what?
You know what we're doing?
It's not stopping. No,
we're putting a price on pollution,
right?
And we're returning it to families like
I
yours.
don't think so. You're sending it over to Ukraine, right?
No.
Yeah. You send it over to the guy that you were with that slaughtered his own country.
You've been listening to Putin, have you?
Putin? No. We definitely don't listen to your propaganda, eh?
So this is another clear-cut case. I know accosting someone in the street isn't always going to get a good conversation out of a person, but the fact of the matter is Justin Trudeau, genuine concerns. What was brought up in that, it was nobody can afford a home in this country. You're forcing carbon taxes on everyone while you have several V8s idling waiting for you in the parkade here. And then also, as soon as he has a grievance with how much money we're sending off to Ukraine, it just goes immediately to, you've been listening to Putin and now you're an agent of the Russian government somehow, and that's how we just deal with things here in Canada, at least on the Prime Minister's office side of things. Now, many pointing out that a man who made it all the way to the top office in Canada on looks alone isn't really faring so well these days. So, what are your thoughts on this? Justin Trudeau, obviously, having some hard times with that in the looks department. Now, he obviously not exactly the brightest bulb on the Christmas tree, but having a hard time these days. Anyway, I wanted to leave this with you guys in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about all this gaslighting. Do you buy this stuff, or do you think most people buy this? Do you think on average Canadians hear this stuff and they actually believe what he has to say? Do you think it gets through to the normies, the people who aren't following things on the internet, who maybe just are subject to only CBC News, CTV, and Global? Do you think they're actually buying this when they hear these epithets from Trudeau? When he comes out, he actually demonizes a group of people, and then tells you that no, it's you that's the bigot. Anyway, I'll leave that question with you in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Tune in tonight at 9:30 Eastern with the live stream. We do this every Friday night. This week we've got we got some interesting guests tonight. We've got the best damn roofer on the show, so come check it out. We'd love to see you in the live stream chat. We'll see you tonight. Keep on trucking.